I am a graduate from UCSY, University of Computer Study, Yangon. And after I've graduated the honors degree, and then I joined the Master of Computing in NUS School of Computing. And after that, I start working in the IT industry in Singapore. So Samsung is my fourth company that I joined, and I've been working in Samsung for over the 6 years. And now I'm working as an IT manager, taking care of the marketing system. So my clients are basically the Samsung marketing department who are responsible for sending the marketing email, push notification, SMS, the social media campaign, something like that. So I'm facilitating them to, in order to achieve this kind of online campaign. So we are using the SAP hybrid product. So I am the liaising between the technical team and our marketing department clients.
Okay, very interesting. I think it is going to be relatable to most of you.
I hope so, yeah.
In IT and marketing in many ways. Yes. So I'm excited. So we are not going to introduce you guys again in this slide because we introduce already before this.
Yeah, sure.
So let's go to the question and answer already.
All right.
And then for just in case, like I wanted to do like 30 minutes possible, sure. Because if it is too long,
right.
this is also not good. You know.
Right.
Can I ask the first question?
By the way, can everyone hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear.
All right. Okay.
I will mute here 30 minutes.
Okay.
So we can understand that.
Great.
So okay, I will give you.
Okay. So May Thu, it's really nice to having you here, and it's going to be very inspiring to know your experiences.
Thank you.
For our interns. I think you will explain what are we doing here with the internship program. But my first question is your background and then your job right now, your position and company is quite relevant with the people in here. I mean, for the first batch. So my question is quite basic actually, but I always wonder, I always ask everybody, how is your daily life? I mean, a day in your life, how does it look like? How is your routines and during the day?
And then the working environment too.
And working environment, yeah.
Right. But then now, right, during the coronavirus crisis, my daily life has changed drastically. So are you interested in like normal before coronavirus or right now?
It would be nice that knowing the past and then transition maybe a little bit and currently.
Sure. So previously I was working in the office, so 5 days a week. So every day I will be going to the office and then working. So the workload in Samsung generally is very manageable, and I really appreciate that the work-life balance is really balanced in working in Samsung. So of course we do have some challenges and some period, especially during the flagship product launch period, like twice a year. As you guys are already very familiar with the Samsung, we launched the Galaxy S series every year and Galaxy Note series every year as well. So there are two major product launch 2 times in every year. So during this period, we were very busy, but normally in general, our workload is very manageable and we really appreciate the work-life balance in Samsung. So I'm working 5 days a week from 8:30 to 5:30. That's about it. But for now, because of the coronavirus thing, we are working from home since March. So my daily life become it's very different. We cannot join the face-to-face meeting and the client, and also we cannot participate in all the events. Everything is cancel, so everything has to be online, and there is a challenge between, because in Samsung environment the security is very important. So previously we were not allowed to even carry our work laptop back to the home, and we are not supposed to work in the home. we have to be strictly present at the office building in order to make sure the security has been compliance. So now everything has been changed, so the company's direction has to be moved, and we have to adopt the all online working environment immediately because of the government's announcement. So we are now trying to transit working from home, and there are quite a bit of challenges in order to maintain the productivity and also communication between the team.
Well, firstly about NUS, I also plan to like continue my study in 200 University for my master degree. I learned that NUS one of the 200 university and it is near from Myanmar. So
Yeah.
I also thinking about considering about that one. I learned that I researched that there's two major in related with CS in the NUS, AI and computer science. I'm not sure. I also interested in like AI. And also, I also my previous study is about CS. Can you know like how experience or what about your perspective of both? Can you explain your perspective of both major?
Sure. Before I start, actually, I graduated my master degree in 2010. So it's 10 years ago. Everything has been changed drastically. So I might not be able to provide you the direct answer for your question, but let me just share my experience there. So in NUS, there are different faculties and departments that offer the computer science related degrees. So as far as I know, there's a faculty of engineering and school of computing, which is my school. And also there is another department called Institute of System Science. Yeah, ISS. So these three faculty offer the computer science related bachelor, master, and the PhD program. So I am graduated from School of Computing, so I am only aware of the School of Computing. So in 2010, when I studied there were two major available for the master degree. One is the Master of Computing, which I am graduated from, and another one is the Master of Information System. So there are two different degrees. So for I'm not sure about the Master of Information System, but for Master of Computing, the admission criteria is that basically our GPA from the UCSY, actually not limited to UCSY, any bachelor degree. So your GPA and your mark in the exam mark in the bachelor degree is very important. So that one, and you has to be at least, I believe your
3.8, I think.
3.8. So out of 5, right? 3.8 out of 5.
No, I'm not sure about that. I got first class. So I think I remember only 4.8. I think 4.8 or something like that.
I see, right. So 4.8 out of 5 should be fine. And I didn't even need to provide the IELTS or TOEFL English proficiency because our IT related major is not really the language focused one. But I'm not sure whether they changed the admission criteria or not. So my advice to you is just go and check the NUS website.
Yeah.
So you can see all the faculty information, and if you're interested in School of Computing, just go directly to the School of Computing website, and you can see all the program they offer, and there will be detailed information about the admission requirement and the program detail, what are the subject that you can learn. So from my time, I needed to pass, in order to be graduated as a Master of Computing, I needed to pass the 10 module. 10 module means 10 subjects. So you need to study 10 subjects, but this 10 subject you are free to choose. So you can choose. What I could have done differently is that I should be able to choose the subject I was really interested, but instead I was focused on the subject that I can easily pass the exam. You know, that was the mistake that I did. So I just want to share my experience, because that time I didn't know much about it, and there is no one to guide me as well. So my goal that time was to graduate and to find a job. So in order to be able to graduate, I choose the subject that I can easily pass the exam. So, but that was clearly a mistake. I wish I hadn't done. Instead, I should choose the subject that I'm really interested in and that I really want to learn. So that's one advice for you. And you can really choose. There are a lot of subjects available, I believe like more than 100. So over the 100, you just need to select 10 and you need to attend the classes. And also, right, the first month you can try to enroll the class. And if you're not sure whether you like the just to try out the subject and the professor, so you should try as much trial classes as possible and then choose to your 10 module. So once you finish your 10 module, then you will be graduated. This is the master coursework program, but they might have changed because it was 10 years ago. So my advice to you is to just go and check the website. You will have all the detailed information. If you have some questions, you can just email their contact email. Someone will be replying.
Okay. Another question is about data analysis. But I was taught lecture like data directly and data analysis.
Right.
Yeah. But when I read about the job description, job requirements for data analysis, I need like I need to used to be the things like the data analyst tools. I'm not familiar with those things, but I just taught like theories and things. I'm not sure. Can you explain a little experience?
Sure. For me personally, I am not really interested in data analysis. It's too mathematical for me personally. But anyway, I work with the data scientists and data analysts. So of course, this is a very specific skill set that you need to have in order to become a data analyst or data scientist, because you need to work with the volume of large amount of data in order to analyze and provide the valuable information for your client. So you really need the specific skill set. So you need to at least, I think, learn and obtain the certification to prove that you are efficient in the setting tools. But I am not able to advise you which tools are more popular, because it's just like programming languages. I think a few years back, the .NET, Java were very popular. Now, a lot of people using PHP, like the open source, because of the easier access or the easier to learn. So data science tools are also the same. And for example, in Samsung, right, it depends on the company as well. For example, in Samsung, we have the in-house tools. So there is no commercial product. We do not use the commercial product for security reasons. So Samsung built their own data analysis tools. So it is impossible for the outside people to learn the in-house analysis tools, right? So I do not recommend you to but I think you should be able to understand what is the popular commercial product, and then you should be able to learn the concept of the data analysis because if you know the concept and if you are familiar with one tools, you should be able to learn how to use another tools, right? Because using the tools is just like programming. You don't need to be efficient in using every single tools, because different companies use the different tools. Some companies use even the in-house one, which you are not able to learn in advance. So the most important thing is the concept. So you should be able to understand the main concept, and a few tools, you should be able to find a job, I believe.
Okay, so I'm not from the IT field, so I'm more interested in your experience as a business analyst. So what would be the requirements and certification that, like, when you need to work in Singapore, what would be the requirements to work as a business analyst?
Sure. Let me introduce you a little bit about my background. Is that I started working after graduating the Master of Computing, I started working as a programmer. So I developed the program, and then I find it not very interesting to be a programmer. So I wanted to switch to a system analyst and the business analyst background. So I didn't have any certification for the system and business analyst, because when I was a programmer, I was working with the system analyst and project manager. So I just learned from my working experience. But if you're interested in obtaining the certificate, there are a lot of certificates, the popular ones, to become a business and system analyst. So just to share with you my experience working in Singapore is that having a certificate is very important, especially if you are fresh graduate and you didn't have any working background in the same field. However, if you are very you already established the working experience in the same field, the certificate and the degree is not very not very important anymore. So it depends on the situation. So if you're interested in obtaining business analyst and the system analyst certificate, yeah, sure, there are like project management, there is a PMP. The PMP is very recognizable certification for the project management, and business analyst, I believe there is one as well, provided by the Microsoft, I believe, but I could not recall the exact name. You can find, it depends on the country as well. In Singapore, I think the Microsoft Business Analyst certification is quite popular, especially if you do not have the same working experience in the same field. But what I did is I learned from my working experience, so I didn't have any, but I do have the learning experience in my master degree program. So I learned how to create the program, I learned how to do some management, project management. I learned how to deal with the system analysis, system design, how to become an architect. All this is not like the certification kind of things, but I do study a little bit. And as my time working as a programmer, I work with the system analyst and business analyst, so I know how they work. And basically the system analyst or the business analyst, the job scope is to work with the programmer, the developer, the technical engineer, and the client. So it's a middleman between the clients. So we need to understand what is the client requirement. So what kind of computer system we want, the client want, and we need to collect all the information, because client may not be the technical person, so they may not have any idea how the computer system works. So your job is to collect all what the client want, and you need to convert to the imagine what is the computer system looks like, and you need to convey the message to the programmer and make sure the programmer are developing the system that is beneficial for the client. So this is the major role as a system analyst and business analyst. So for mostly in Singapore, especially in Singapore, business analysts are the people who doesn't have the I believe not everyone, but most of the time, business analysts are the people who doesn't come from the IT background. They might come from the business background, or so they may not have the technical knowledge. They might not be able to convey the create the system design so that the programmer can easily follow, but they know the client very well. They know how to handle the client, and they know what the client wants. So when the system has been developed, they can check whether this is what the client wants. So to make sure the QA, everything. The system analyst is the same scope as a business analyst, but mostly for system analysts, they come from the IT background, so they can communicate better with the programmer. Yeah, so I believe most of the company, system analysts and business analysts are mostly one person, same person for the same project. Yeah, it's not like in one project there are both system analysts and business analysts. I didn't think so. Mostly if the person is the business analyst, then technical team is the one taking over to the system analysis role. And if the person is the system analyst, then technical team need to do lesser thing, and this person needs to do more. This is the major job scope. Yeah. So did I answer your questions, or do you still have any clarification?
Yeah, that really answers my question. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
So the previous questions are like really related to your personal experiences and like things like that. But the question that I want to ask is, you know, you are in Samsung Telecom company. So
yeah.
The thing is that the trend that they are going right now is, you know, they are producing and launching the new products on a yearly basis,
That's
right? So
yeah.
like Huawei, Samsung, and iPhone, they already they are launching the new products on a yearly basis. So I want to know that now, what are the how do you deliver your core value of your product to the customers whenever you produce a product? I mean, whenever you produce a new series, whenever you produce a new model, how do you deliver your core value to the customers? Yeah, as Samsung.
interesting question, but I believe this question is more for my clients with the marketing team, right? They have different marketing tactics, and I am supporting the 9 countries in Southeast Asia and the Oceania region. So different country has the different approach, and they have different audience, like different target audience. So different countries has different approach how to deliver or how to market people so that the people will buy the product. So this is the marketing strategy, but my job is more on the IT background. So the marketing strategy is decided by the marketing team, and if they have decided their team and they are using the system, our computer system, to deliver the messages to the customer, then this is where I am supporting our marketing client to use the our computer system. So I think your question is more for my clients, I'm afraid. Yeah.
I see.
But what based on my understanding is like different countries has the different marketing strategy, and actually, you know, marketing is very different from the design perspective as well, because Samsung is very big company. So the direction of the designing of the product and what are the new functionalities this product will have is from one department, and marketing department is just selling the product. So, you know, the core value of the product might be decided by the product team as well. So there will be the product design team, the team who manufacture the product, and also the management who has the different direction of the new product, and they have their how can I say, they have their different strategy. Like for this year phone, what are the functionalities they want to put it in, even though they might have like new functionality already discovered, something like that. So based on the price and based on the current market trend, everything is different. But I'm afraid I will not be able to share all the detailed information.
Good evening. Can I know about how do you start noticing that you are interested in a particular field, and how do you find out which field is suitable for you the most? Yeah, I want to know that.
I remember that question from the comment section. It's very interesting question. The answer is I didn't know. So I started as a programmer because I thought that time, right after I graduate, I thought I study the programming, I study the compiler design, I study about the operating system, I study about the database strategy or the database optimization, I study about the network security, I study about the IT security or the hacking and all this everything. And so among all this subject, I thought that time, right, 10 years ago, I thought I am more interested in the programming. So I start finding my as my first job, I joined as a programmer. So I developed the code using, I believe that .NET, C#, .VB.NET, and Java also. And then I thought I liked programming because, you know, I am trying to develop something, so develop the system that can help people do certain things and that can help people's everyday life. That's what I learned in the university, because in university, master program, I need to create the whole the whole system by myself, and I need to present to the professor and everything. So I joined. I thought at that time I thought I liked programming. That's why I joined as a programmer to the company. But one in the company, I believe almost every company has already built their infrastructure, because they do not create the different small system to every client. So they create the base system and trying to sell it to the client. So different client might have different requirements. So in this case, we try to do the localization or some customization instead of building the whole system. So everyday job become a repetitive. So as a programmer, what I usually did is I just need to create maybe new module or new form. Are you from IT? So you understand what I'm talking about, right? So I just need to.
He's not from IT.
No, I'm from business field yet.
I see. All right. So I will just I will not go into detail about the IT example, but my point is that, yeah, I find it's very not very interesting to become the programmer in the industry, which is very different from what I thought it would be when I'm doing my studies. So I worked as a programmer like around 2 years, and I noticed that I didn't like I like programming, but I didn't like working as a programmer in the industry because the job become very repetitive. So that time I realized that I like working with the people instead of the coding in front of the computer the whole day. So I like talking to the client what they want, and I like to advise them what kind of IT system should be used in order to streamline their current operation process, business process. So that point, I think after working 2 years as a programmer, I realized that I'm more interested in the system analyst and business analyst. So I become a system analyst and business analyst. So I learn what other people are doing, and I also apply the previous experience and trying to become a system analyst. After I'm working as a system and business analyst for a few years, then I become a project manager. It's not that project manager is not very much different from the system and business analyst, because system and business analyst taking care of more on the process, right? So how to convert the customer's requirement to become the computer system. Project management is the same thing, involving the handling budget and people management. So how many people, how many manpower we need to complete the certain project, and what is the budget. So negotiation between the budget, right? So I need to estimate the cost, and if the client is not willing to pay the cost, then I need to negotiate something like that. So it's involving more on the money. But I didn't change to the project management job. It just becomes my because of the requirement on my the job that time, I became a project manager. So but I really enjoy working with the people and helping solve their problem, helping to improve their the daily business operation. So that time I realized like I prefer that. So it's not like, you know, one day I suddenly realized that what I really like, and then it's not like that.
Can I also,
yeah, answer your questions?
Yes,
Can I
thank you.
add also-
Enjoy your answering, yes.
Oh, because I also have a similar situation. I come from the IT, and then also the similar background, but I'm not coding anymore right now. So how you can realize this? Like May Thu said, you cannot realize immediately because you have to find a job for your own expense, that you're living, you're eating, you know, you want to also give her the money. So survival level, you do that. But how you understand, oh, 30 minutes is already down so quick. So we need to answer short, but I like to give this one very quickly. If you know that, like, for example, I learned the Japanese in Myanmar within 1 year, very short time, like a business level. But that time, I could not sleep, you know, and every time I'm thinking to what to do. I didn't think that is this a job, learning a job. I was enjoying it. So I understand that, okay, learning the language, I like it. And then I was transferred to India. In India, I worked so long, but I have a colleagues that was sent together with me. He was so enjoying, you know, like searching, coding. He was not thinking like a job. And even overtime working, even though he go back home, like researching by himself, he doesn't look like he's giving a lot of overtime. He didn't think like that. But I was just enjoying it. I was just thinking that, I wish I can rest this week, no overtime like that. I was just enjoying, you know. So which means that I'm just doing a job. I was just enjoying. I feel stuck, you know, in front of the thing. So I switched to the Japan. They hire me as a programmer. I communicate that, like, if possible, can you sign me to the business side? They said that you are going to start from the very zero because you don't have any business related in a new country, a new language. They don't use English. You know, my English was not a skill set that is a requirement or that is useful. So why not? Like, because why I need to keep going that I'm doing. So it is hard. And like you guys are trying now, like it's a kind of try a new thing like that. But is this worth it? Like, because now even also I'm doing my own startup, right? I didn't think that, oh, this is, I have to work this Saturday, Sunday, suck. No, we are enjoying it. That's a moment that you will find that this is a love that you job or not. Okay, not the give it away that time.
Yeah.
I hope it is useful for you.
So I'm an engineering student, civil engineering, and here is quite popular to go to Japan or Singapore. So for your further studies or for your future career. So I'm seriously considering Singapore and Japan for if I for my future. So would you recommend studying and working in Japan, like in NUS and or other Singaporean universities?
Sure, yeah, I believe I do not have the personal experience about Japan, so I won't be able to advise you on that. But for Singapore, I believe it's really great because Singapore is very developed first world country, so there is a lot of exposure to the Western market. So there are a lot of multinational companies that you can choose from. So this becomes an opportunity. So, and like Myanmar, right? Because I will just compare Myanmar and Singapore because I do not have the knowledge about Japan. So in Myanmar, even though now there are a lot of multinational companies becoming popular, but still compared to the Singapore, there are a lot lesser opportunity for you to choose. So in Singapore, it's very exposed to the outside world. So there are a lot of the opportunity, but you sure need to have the skill sets, of course. And also in Singapore, another good thing about it is the income tax is very low compared to the countries like the US or Australia. So, even though the market price is lower to that country, but the net income is I believe, higher. And the living standard, even though Singapore is a very expensive country, the living standard is still lower than the countries compared to US and Australia. So I believe it's good. Another good thing about it is it's near to our home country, Myanmar. So if you have the family and loved one in Myanmar, Singapore is a very convenient place to live in. But the challenging part might be the residential status, the permanent residence, to become a permanent residence is very complicated process and it's not very transparent. So your residential status will be tied to your school that you are studying or the company that you are working. So that could be one potential issue. But overall, I really recommend working and studying in Singapore.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No worries.
My question is, as you seen on the Facebook Live comment, and I want to know the personal details about what was the big challenge when you start working as an IT manager at Samsung and how you overcome that.
So the biggest challenge is that Samsung is very big company. So there's even in our subsidiary, in our own department, there are a lot of teams working separately. Maybe sometimes, right, the different teams are working on the same project, overlapping together. So communication become a challenge. So I need to understand the overall organizational culture. And also I need to understand what everyone is doing, but it takes a while because the company is very big, so there are a lot of people working on the different thing or sometimes maybe the same thing. So there's an overlapping and communication issue is one of the major challenge. And another challenge is that Samsung is a South Korean country, as you guys already know. So the top management, the working culture there is very Asian, if you know what I mean. So it's very like top-down level way of working. So it's not as open and innovative as the Western country like the Google or Facebook or Apple's, for example. So working culture is very much like we just need to follow our headquarters direction, everything. So there is only one way of working, is the top down. There is no bottom up relationship. So that's another challenge. And also the communication. So our higher level management from South Korea prefers communicating in Korean. So for me, I haven't learned the Korean languages, so the language becomes the barrier, especially for the communicating with the top level management. So we always need to rely on the Korean manager, you know, in order, especially in the board meeting or the bigger meeting. So we will not be able to convey our message as effectively as possible because of the translation process. So that's become a challenge, but I have not overcome that challenge yet. So the best thing I can do most is like to communicate properly with this middleman, right? The translator. So I try my best to convey my message as best as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
And for the communication part, it just takes a little while to understand what everyone is doing and then try to communicate more.
Hello, good evening. I'm Tudor from Japanese Business Team. Yes. I want to ask that how is the labor strategies for the Samsung company's business situation during the COVID-19?
It is challenging like everyone else, so it's very challenging situation. But we haven't heard any information about the retrenchment or anything, because I don't think like within the last 10 years Samsung did not have any retrenchment or forced resignation. So they have the like this kind of disaster recovery backup plan in place, but we are not sure how long this COVID situation is gonna last. So I am not sure, but sure, like everyone else, we are facing the challenges.
Okay.
But I'm sorry that I will not be able to, you know, provide like very detailed information about it. Yeah.
I'm Lisa from marketing team. What I want to know is that why do you choose Samsung, and is there any challenges you met in why applying Samsung? That's what I would like to know.
Actually, I didn't choose Samsung that time, 6 years ago, right? I was finding a new job and I happened to have the interview at Samsung. So at that time, I had 3 or 4 job offer together, but I chose Samsung mainly because it was the permanent employee role. Other companies are offering the contract base. So being a permanent employee, I can secure my job better compared to the contract, right? Not usually the contract position is yearly renewal basic. So every year I need to go through the contract renewal phase. But for permanent employee, it's like until I resign or let's say there's a retrenchment happen, until that time my job is secure. That is the reason why I just joined the Samsung that time. But I didn't, before I joined Samsung, I just changed the job yearly. Sometimes I think sometimes I even join two company in the same year. So I was just jumping around because that time I was still young and I was still a fresh graduate. So by changing the new job, my salary become higher and higher. So like it's the shortcut way to secure a better salary. So when I joined Samsung, I in my mind maybe I was just working in there like a few years, but after joining the team and I really like what I doing and I really enjoy the company of the team. I like the people I work with and I like my clients and I like my job scope, and I really appreciate the work-life balance we are having in this company. So I decided to stay longer. Yeah. So like before that, I didn't join just because of the Samsung or just because it's a very big company. I just joined as a new job. Yeah. Hope that answer your questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah. I just want to know about Samsung or work environment, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, working environment, just like I mentioned, it's very Korean culture is very Asian. So we are the working organizational structure is very top down. So even though we are working as a Singapore regional office, we are still following the Korea headquarter direction. So everything is happening in the Korea headquarter, and they will be sending the general direction. So our management, the Singapore management, will implement based on their headquarters direction. So it's very top down, and the communication is another problem because most of our Korean colleagues prefer to speak and communicate in Korean, so they are not really keen on the communicating in the English. So the communication between Korean colleagues and international colleagues, there is a little bit gap, and it's quite challenging. This is our main problem. And for the work description wise, it depends on the teams. So for the team I'm working on, our marketing support team is quite, I believe it's okay. Then we can appreciate the work-life balance, and we are working. Everyone in our team is working as a like the whole team, not individually. So the relationship between our team members are very good as well. But it might not be the same for everyone. Yeah. I hope it can answer your question, but please be understanding that I won't be able to give you every single detail because it's like confidentiality information. So overall, it's like the Asian Asian company. So it's like very much Asian. It's very much different from the Western companies like Google. Yeah. So top management is the responsible for driving the whole company.
Thank you, May Thu. Swalen, please.
What I want to ask is that possible for IT a programmer to work in different companies in like in, let's say, like 5 years or something? Like if you are now working in Samsung, like next year, can you join Google or Facebook or something like that? Is that possible, or is there some restrictions or something like that?
I don't think so. I believe we cannot join the competitor company immediately. So I'm not sure whether, based on my contract, right, I cannot join the competitor company immediately. So once I resign Samsung, I cannot join the competitor. So there will be the list of competitor company. I believe Apple will be one of them, but I don't think Google or Microsoft or Facebook, because we are partners. So I think should be fine. But it depends on the individual. So once you join one company, the HR will provide you the contract to sign. So in this contract, there will be the list down what you can or you cannot do. So it's the case by case basis. It's not common for everyone.
Thank you.
You wanna do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder about the necessary skills and experience to join to Samsung.
Okay, so it also depends because like I mentioned before, sometimes very big companies, so they're very different teams, even in the IT, right? But so different teams are doing the similar things or the same things. So the job requirement would be the position that you are going to join. So you definitely need to have the skill set. So if you want to become a programmer, so you need to know some certain programming language, something like that. So if you want to join the marketing team, so you need to have, so what kind of job you are working. So in marketing team, are you joining the strategy team? So if you're joining, then you should be able to know how to develop the marketing strategy, how to target the proper target audience, something like that. So if you are joining the HR team, you need to have certain skill sets like how to recruit people, how to follow up with the certain HR policy, how to develop something. So the requirement, the skill set that you are require really depends on what is the job you are doing. So I will not be able to provide you the direct answer on that, but in general, for Samsung Singapore office, the most important thing is the communication. So you should be able to communicate with the people you are working and with your bosses and the management, that what you can do, what you can deliver, and what you can contribute to the company. So not only the skill set that you require to accomplish your job, you should be able to communicate and the confidence that you can do certain things, So if you won't be able, the communication is not good, even though you are very talented on the certain area and you could be, you could accomplish the job done, nobody will know. So, the communication and confidence in general is more important. I hope this can answer your questions.
That's good.
Okay, I don't want to keep longer the May Thu, because your time is also precious. And thank you for your private time and spared for us and for that. And then see you in somewhere again. We may enjoy. Okay, I will send you the recording video too. Bye bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.